And then I had said, I've never had a dream where I've killed anyone, but that's not true anymore.
What happened? I need to know.
Hello, and welcome to the Babble podcast. We're two critters chittering at you. I am Lydia.
I am Katie, and welcome back to another episode.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
What you may notice is that we are recording video today, so you can see our faces.
Yeah, we posted one episode and then we took a break because we had some troubleshooting to do and Katie got sick. She's still a little sick, but we're pushing through.
Yeah, I sounded gross for a while, so I saved everybody from having to listen to me. And yeah, we did some experimenting with kind of the basics. So we got a new setup, which is good. I mean, this is like my parents' spare bedroom. This is not where I normally am, but
yeah, I'm in a basement. I'm in my base. I was like, I'm in a basement. I'm in my basement of my house, but that's why it's so dark. I have a ring light. It'll do for now. I think this podcast
crawled into someone's basement. Someone help her. Just can't get out.
I can't. Where am I? Yeah, I think this podcast will continue to evolve and change. I hope it gets better. I think it's better than the first episode already. There's a lot to learn, and that's part of the fun, I think.
Yeah, no, that's it's definitely been fun doing like the creative background stuff. I enjoy that a lot. Figuring things out.
Yeah, me too. It's just like, wow, this is way more work than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's been nice as well to do it with like someone else so that like if I'm having a week where my brain can't handle, doing extra, like you may have more capacity to do some auxiliary things, and so it's been great.
It is nice to have someone else to like rely on for many things, but yeah, because like there's going to be ebbs and flows to both of our lives, so that is handy.
Yeah. And it just brings me back. There's many a times that we've had our little projects that we do together, so it makes me happy.
Yeah, we're good collaborators.
We are. We should like start a business or something.
Right?
That's like every friend ever.
I know. Well, I don't think we should live together, but I do think we could do a business.
No, we wouldn't. Neither of us would be alive if we lived together, but we're pretty good collaborators.
It'd be really bad. I know. That's something I knew really early on. Because, like a lot of best friends are like, let's get an apartment together, which makes a lot of sense. But for you and me, luckily things worked out, like we each found our own paths. Because if we did ever get an apartment together, I fear it would have ruined our friendship.
Yeah, and I think what's important is that like we are friends from like childhood, basically. I feel like people that meet in college and stuff who are kind of forced into that scenario to begin with, like they form those kind of friendships to like want to live, together. We've spent so much time together. Yeah. We talk all the time. We basically live together, but we don't have to put up with each other's habits. So it's great.
Right. And that's the thing I wouldn't be able to stand.
I wouldn't be able to stand you.
I know. I think we live too differently.
Yeah. And that's okay. Well, and obviously you have a family and a child.
Well, so yeah. You can't live with me unless it's desperate. If you can stay here.
We do make jokes where I would come and just sleep at the end of their bed like a dog if I ever needed to.
Yeah, you're
We're
more
not
than
there yet.
welcome. Yeah, we
We're not
make
there.
jokes with Chris's best friend too, who lives out in Ohio. It's like, hey, like if you ever want to just live in our basement, like it's not finished, but you can. You could be our little nanny man.
Just in the full house, man. That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would be. Who would he be?
Oh,
It
I
would
don't know.
be. Oh, did you never watch that show?
No, I don't know any of the characters or what they do. He
Well,
could be,
one of them.
he can't be the baby, actually, never mind. I was going to say he could be the twins.
No, the baby is the baby.
Yeah, my child is the baby. Well, who's the DJ? There's a girl named DJ.
Who is DJ?
That's why she's named that, right? She's a DJ?
DJ is the oldest child.
Okay, so that could be him.
No, you've obviously never watched the show. There's the dad has all these children, and the mom died. So
Oh no,
then,
sad.
what
Well,
was
it
it,
sounds
the
like
brother-in-law? The brother-in-law comes to live in the house, and then their friend comes to live in the house as well. So, and the friend's name is Joey. So I feel like
Oh, okay.
he
Yeah.
would be Joey, the adult, not some random child.
Fine. I guess that makes more sense.
You're not raising this man. Anyway,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
amazing.
Wow. Well,
We
yes,
should call
just,
him now. So
just let's put him on the pod. On a scale of 1 to
you want
10,
to be
how
this
likely?
child?
Oh,
We can adopt you into our family.
2 questions. Who would you be if you were on Full House? And second question, do you want to live in my basement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Answer is Joey, and yes, he would.
Okay, I'll let him know that those have to be his answers.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm pretty good where I'm at. So
Well, that's good. Well, just so you know, you always have a place here. I'll get rid of my real dog any day and replace you. Replace her with you.
replace me.
I'll replace you. I'll replace my real dog with you for sure because it sounds way better.
Okay. No, I want the dog.
Okay.
Anyway.
You can have her.
I know, she's so cute.
You can have her. She looks terrible right now. 'Cause
I know she was pooping in your basement for a while.
I cleaned that up. Yeah, she has a few bad habits. Also, she looks like hell right now because we gave her an at-home haircut. For anyone listening, I am having a very hard time with the addition of this dog into our family. We got her in August or September, sometime around then. And it's February and I still am not super bonded to this dog. So it's like the adjustment period is so hard. I hope one day I love Gigi, but right now I don't.
And that's I think that's like good to say because, you know,
Yeah.
other people probably feel that way bringing a new addition into their household, and like there's a lot of shame that could come with that of like I don't have the space in my head or my heart to like welcome this animal. And that's okay. But you're taking care of her.
Yeah, I am taking good care of her, I think. Well, it's so hard because it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I try to do research, but it's sometimes, I just feel like I don't have the capacity to learn more information. So obviously, then I feel like we just shouldn't have gotten a puppy. But now she's here. She is in our house. So you can't think that way. I think in the future, I would never get a puppy again. I would get a grown adult dog, probably.
Yeah.
But that's, now I know that about myself. I don't like puppies. And one day Gigi will be a grown adult dog. She will be a year in May. So there's hope at the end of the tunnel. One of my friends was telling me that she has a dog. She's had a dog for many years now and loves him so much. And I was so surprised. She told me that when she got him as a puppy, she hated him for like a full year because of the huge adjustment it took to take care of him, because she was just a single person. And then now there's this thing that constantly needs her. And she had to completely, obviously, adjust her whole lifestyle. And it's really hard. And obviously now he's like an adult dog and doesn't need as much. And she's bonded with him at this point. So that gave me hope, because I was like, it's been a long time. Like, I'm afraid that I'm never going to like this dog. But she's like, no, it took me a whole year to actually like my dog.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It took me about like 6 months to realize, like, I'm not having regrets about my, like, I'm no longer fearing I made a mistake about getting an animal. I've learned to roll with the punches, and nothing that I'm anxious about is the end of the world. Like, him getting on the counters really is not the end of the world. I was more scared of people judging me about, like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right things? Are people gonna think I'm a bad cat mom by letting him on the counters? Are people gonna think that's gross? And then I took him home. I got him when I was 19. I took him home, and my parents fell in love with him, and they're like, oh gosh, yeah, he doesn't learn. You can't train him.
No.
So I felt validated in the fact that I wasn't doing anything wrong necessarily. It was just an adjustment period.
Yeah, you're doing the best you could.
Yeah.
Which is all we can do. We can just do better the next day, which is what I try to remind myself when I have a bad day with her. It's just, okay, just be better tomorrow. It's like all you can do. And
yeah,
that's like with a lot of things. But I think also like Gigi adds to my anxiety that I already struggle with. So then I try to notice that ahead of time before it becomes too much, where I like explode.
Yeah, which is good. Which is why therapy is great. We love therapists.
I love my therapist.
You know, I moved out of state, and so my therapist can't see me as often anymore because I have to be in the state that she is in, which is frustrating. But I got to see her. Was here this weekend, so that was helpful. I got to.
Yes.
You know, my anxiety was really bad recently, so I was able to talk to someone about it.
Just so necessary.
It is, you know, when work and like life just gets too much, then for me it's typically like my brain will go and create this decoy anxiety. I get really anxious about this like non-existent thing because there's life happening, and so she's able to reel me back in and be like, okay, so that's crazy that you're anxious about, you know, this thing that's never gonna happen. What's that really about?
Yeah, well, I think that's so common too. Like that happens to me as well, where I'm feeling really anxious about something, but then that's not really what I'm anxious about. It's typically something deeper, which takes a lot of practice to even realize and to decipher, which is why therapy's been so helpful for me, because especially in the beginning like of my therapy journey, which started in 2022, I felt anxious all the time and I didn't know why. I didn't even realize it was anxiety until a really long time. And then I finally got my therapist. I was like, I think I'm anxious. And she helped me discover that a lot of that anxiety I was just carrying around with me every day was just a lot of unpacked issues from childhood that I was still carrying around, and resentment and anger, which was manifesting in anxiety because I didn't feel safe, which makes sense now. But I was like, what am I anxious about? My life is great.
Yes. Yeah, I spent so many years being like, I don't need to go to therapy. Like, I've lived a great life. I have nothing to complain about. I'm not anxious. What I'm worried about is real because I have nothing to be anxious about. So
I'm not anxious.
Whatever I'm
Look at
worrying
me.
about. And then I got to a point where I'm like, oh, I think I'm losing my mind. I might have to go see someone, they're like, yeah, that's anxiety, and you don't, you know,
Well,
anyone can be anxious.
yeah, you're not immune to it actually. And well, that's the thing too. It's like it feels really real. Like the feeling is real. The physical symptoms are real, even if the danger is not. And that took me a long time to realize too of, you know, like I used to do this thing where I would have like fake conversations in my head, like confrontational conversations, pretend I'm talking to someone. That gets your body actually ramped up as if it's real. And I didn't realize I was actually making myself more anxious by doing that. I thought I was getting prepared. I thought this is what I have to do to be ready. And it was actually just making me spiral and making me feel a lot worse. Because, first of all, you're trying to predict what someone else is going to say, which is never possible. And then your body is having a real response to that fear, which then is just, it spirals from there. Makes you anxious the rest of the day. At least it did me.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm definitely guilty of doing that. I think we all are at some point. But yeah, like I'll be really, really on edge, really anxious or angry or sad, just like for no reason, other than my own torture. It's not productive. It's not productive use of our time.
No, it's not. And I think something that's been so helpful for me is not avoiding the anxious feeling, because that's what I used to do, because I got so used to it. I just lived with anxiety for so long, and that was my coping mechanism, was just to ignore it. And my therapist, bless her, has worked so hard to get me to acknowledge my tough feelings, and which is something that so many of us do. It's so hard because we're not taught. We don't know how to do it. It's really difficult to acknowledge the tough stuff. It's uncomfortable. And so when I feel anxious, now what I do is notice the anxiety first. Where do I feel it in my body? Try to go to a calm place if I can, like lock myself in the bathroom if I have to, because like, you know, my kid is always with me. So try to just be alone for a second and really just think about, what is this coming from? Because that helps me calm down. The more I ignore it, the worse it becomes, and then it becomes too much. And I feel all the other feelings. I feel frustrated and overwhelmed, and then I get snappy and irritable, which is not who I want to be. And obviously it's just because there's something going on inside me that I'm ignoring. So to acknowledge it first is like, okay, I'm feeling anxious. What could be causing this anxiety? Just giving myself permission to feel anxious about that thing. Of course you feel anxious about that. That makes a lot of sense. You have a lot going on. Yeah. Just literally saying that, of course I'm anxious right now. Which sounds so silly. When my therapist was like, talk to yourself. Give yourself permission to feel these things. Like, that's dumb. But
that's stupid.
It feels so silly at first. It does work. It works. And it's like just going back to like the deepest part of yourself, like little me being like, it's actually okay to feel that way. That makes a lot of sense. But I'm actually going to handle it. We're going to be okay. Just making that connection, then it goes away. It's actually so crazy how instantly the anxiety disappears.
Yeah.
When I just acknowledge it.
No, calling it out is so powerful, especially when like you're in the midst of a spiral of like, this is real. What I'm like feeling right now is real, and I'm feeling something, so that must mean what I'm worried about is real, which is a thinking error I have learned.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, tell me more about this.
Yeah, my therapist uses thinking errors a lot, which annoyed me at first. I'm like, thinking errors, like, but I'm actually feeling these things. But yeah, there's the emotional reasoning of like, because I feel it, it is true. or because I've thought it's true about me. And so then there's catastrophizing. Is that a word? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Catastrophizing.
Catastrophizing. Yeah, sizing.
Making a
smart.
really big deal about something. We're so smart. So like thinking the worst possible outcome is like, because I've thought about the worst possible outcome, that's what's going to happen. I'm anxious, so right now I'm going to fail the test because I'm anxious. You know, blaming yourself for things like, oh, I failed the test because I'm bad, or like the group failed this thing because of me, and blah blah blah. You know, all these things that get you in. There's more. I couldn't tell you. I'm not a therapist, but
Go see a therapist if you want to hear the rest, people.
it's important to call that out and to stop that line of thinking. And so for me right now, like where I have a challenge in like stopping the process of the anxiety, something that's been interesting is like just get up and go do something else. Like put your head in the freezer, put cold water on your face, have this really sour thing. Like, what is it? She gave me it's not an airhead, it's like the warheads.
Oh, the warheads, yeah.
She's like, have a completely different physical sensation in your body that distracts you from whatever you're thinking. And it works for me.
That's
like,
crazy. Yeah, that's so interesting.
just like sometimes I just need to get up and go do something else, or else I'll be on my couch for an hour too, thinking like, you know, the worst things in the world are going to happen. But yeah, no anxiety medication has also helped a lot. Medication is good. Would recommend. Gives you that space to also just
Get to like a baseline.
well, yeah, it gives you that space of like to think I am anxious right now. I am going to use my tools that I've learned in therapy to do something else and work around it.
Yeah, because that's the hardest part is using the stuff you learn about
Yes.
in therapy.
Recognizing that like this is a good point where I could use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. I have a hard time like recognizing I'm allowed to use it because I guilt myself a lot of the times, you know, thinking I deserve to feel this way. Like I need to feel this way. It's purposeful.
That's sad.
It's purposeful to feel this way right now because I need to figure this out. Meanwhile, it's just nonsense. Your brain.
Yeah, that is nonsense. That's like your brain torturing itself.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It sounds like hell. But then you're aware of that happening, though.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the key. A lot of people, like before I started therapy, I was just living with constant stomach aches and a sense of dread and didn't know why. I truly didn't realize it was anxiety until about a year of living that way. So just even acknowledging what it is so hard. And then really that is the first step to dealing with it. It takes so much practice. It's crazy.
Hello.
Hi.
I think we should address first that this is a different setting for both of us. It's a different day, different time.
Yeah. So our last session got rudely interrupted by some technical difficulties. And then we just had to give up. We tried to fix it. We tried to keep recording, and then like all that footage was lost, unfortunately. So here we are.
Here we are.
Several days later. It's like a week later.
I think we left off talking about sleep and dreams.
Well, no, we got interrupted talking about anxiety.
Oh, okay.
And we had intentions to move forward with the conversation. So I think, yeah, now we'll transition.
I am well now into my recovery from the plague that I had. So I've been sleeping wonderfully, but definitely it was rough there for a few weeks, which was something I wanted to talk about because I was taking a lot of NyQuil. And I was having some really great dreams.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the NyQuil dreams.
It was so great. Yes, I wanted to tell you about a dream that I had that almost involved you, but in a dream-like way. It wasn't you, but it was like my brain wanted it to be you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in my feverish state, I was sleeping and just having these weird dreams all night. But one that I could remember was that we were in my backyard at my parents' house. Your mom was there, my parents were there, and you were getting married to some man. But it wasn't you. And so my brain kind of gave up on that, like pretty quickly. I'm like, no, that's not Lydia. Lydia's mom's just here for some reason, but that's not Lydia. And I don't know who the man is. But it was amazing. So it was a wedding ceremony. We were all sitting in a circle like you do at a wedding.
Yep.
That's
Classic.
how weddings work. And the bride gave her vows. And then when the groom went to give his vows, she's like, wait. I have the vows for you. And gave him like this written out speech, which was hilarious because, that's not typically how vows are supposed to go. It's supposed to be more
You
like personal.
know, yeah, no, you know that marriage is going to last when the bride has prepared what she wants to hear
It's like, oh no,
from
this
the
is
groom.
what you're gonna say. And it was like the worst speech you've ever heard in your life. And it was so boring to sit through. I don't know why my brain made this up to torture myself with, but it was like, I'm so excited to start this day, calling you my wife. I will give you my ancestral lands to we can grow like harvest our love. It was horrendous. It was
Ooh,
horrendous.
and he's like reading it off of a piece of paper
Yes. Yeah,
that like
like with
she
a
gave to
gun to
him.
his head, basically. Just like, you have to read this to me. And he's cringing, and we're all cringing. And so that could have been your wedding, but it wasn't.
I'm really glad it wasn't. It sounds like that is like an amalgamation of just influencers
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the way they behave. Your brain's just like, I don't know. Have you been on the Instagram or something when you had that dream?
Probably. I was probably on like YouTube Shorts. That's like the only social
Yeah.
media stuff that I have these days. It quickly dissolved into like a firestorm coming down from the heavens. Like just like fire erupting in random parts of my yard, and I was running, and on like there was like a team of people that I was suddenly a part of, and how dreams just shift very bizarrely.
Yeah, the wedding's over. It is the apocalypse.
That's actually the apocalypse. And like one of my team members, I don't know what we were a team for, but was hit by fire and was like on fire. So I
Oh
was like,
no.
me and somebody else were like trying to pull him back to the house. I don't know why we'd go to the wooden structure in a firestorm, but
Right.
drag him back. And I had like this, like, I was like, I know I'm not this strong in real life, but I'm gonna have adrenaline and like I'm gonna pick up this grown man, and saved his life. So then I woke up.
Wow. I wonder, like, what does that say about you?
It says that I'm a really good person.
Right. I think it's so funny that, like, yeah, in real life, it'd be like, quick, he's on fire. Put him in the building that's definitely going to catch on fire, like, in 2 seconds.
Yes.
Just let him burn.
Yeah, just so everyone scattered. Your mom ran off. The bride and groom ran off.
She not helping anybody.
No, she probably like pushed the groom into the fire. If anything.
Honestly, that's probably better for him.
Yeah, it was a mercy. Really.
Right. That's a crazy dream.
Yeah, it was one of many, but that's the only one I can remember at this point, which is really fun. But
That was fun.
yeah, I think it was just one little pit stop on a week of not being able to sleep and having these very bizarre dreams. So I'm glad that's over.
Yeah, well, you told me about a dream you had a little while ago, I think before you got sick, of you killing me, or remember? You were like, I killed someone in my dream last night and it was you, but then it wasn't you. It was like an old classmate from high school.
Oh yeah, Yes.
Or then it was like some woman in the town who was missing, and you were like, I know that I'm the one who killed her.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot about that. I don't know. I don't know if we were fighting. I don't know what it was. But no, in this dream, what I remember, I wish we could remember them better because they're so interesting.
I wish there was a device that would let you record dreams, like a VHS, and then you could watch it again when you
Yeah.
wake up.
Like I need to like investigate what the hell was happening. But in this dream, somebody died. And I saw that someone had died. And I knew that I had done it. Did not see the killing part of it. Thank God. But I'm just like, oh, that's a dead person, and I killed them. But no one thought it was me. At first, it was you. It was like you, were the person that died. But it shifted into like an old classmate that I haven't thought about in so long.
So funny.
And I was like, I killed this person, and then someone else in the town was like getting blamed for it because they were, I guess, creepy and weird. I don't know. Like everyone thought someone else had done it. I'm like, what do I do? I was the one that actually killed her.
Yeah. Well, then you said you tried to confess to your parents, but they wouldn't listen to you.
Yes. I was like, my parents were asleep in their room. I don't live with my parents anymore, but I was there and was like, listen, you have to listen to me. Like, this is really serious. They're like, oh, gosh, please, can we just go to bed? We're so tired. I'm like, I need to tell somebody that I killed someone. And no one would listen to me. And it was really stressful.
I love that in real life, if you were like, Mom, I have something really serious I need to tell you, she'd just be like, I gotta go to bed right now.
Like, there's nothing you
Oh.
could tell me that would stop me from going to bed right now.
Right this instant.
Like, this is really important. I murdered someone. And no one would listen. And then I woke up.
Right. And then I had said, I've never had a dream where I've killed anyone, but that's not true anymore.
What happened? I need to know.
I feel like you put this idea into my head
Inception.
because, yes, because weeks ago, I had a dream where I killed someone in my dream, but it was self-defense.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It's funny now, and my dream was stressful though. I like for some reason had a dream that I was in an Airbnb or something like that. It's like some other house that is not mine. And Chris was there, and our 1.5-year-old Keanu was there, and Keanu was sleeping in some bedroom, and somehow I knew that these two men were coming to the house to break in and to kill us. It was kind of like a movie. Like I just knew that was going to be coming. I don't know how, but I warned Chris. I was like, there's people on their way right now to like break into this house. And so he like grabbed a baseball bat, and I had a baseball bat, and we were like guarding the doors, like waiting. We were just anticipating these people coming.
That's good teamwork.
Yeah. Well, it started off as good teamwork, but then it turned into like somehow I like called the police, and I could like see, it was like I was watching TV. I could see where the police were en route compared to where the burglars were. And the burglars were going to get to the house way before the police were going to get there. So I was like, I need to be prepared. And I don't know why the police, literally, I was like watching them on TV, like going to the gas station and like not, they were like, we're not coming. I was like, where are they?
Good luck, actually.
Yeah. And so cut to the burglars come and break in immediately. And Keanu wakes up, starts crying in my dream. And then I like run and go grab him because I don't want the burglars to hear him, but it's too late. They already know. So I'm like holding my child in the corner of the room. Chris is like in between us and the two men. And Chris gets stabbed in the arm with like some weird device that doesn't exist in real life. Like, it was like,
Oh no.
it was like it looked like a syringe with like a Solo cup around it. It was like this weird thing this guy had made.
God.
He like
What was in it?
stabbed him. He stabbed him in the arm, and Chris was just standing there looking at me like, just stop moving. But he was just like, you know. And then the other guy also just was like, I did my part. I stabbed one of the people here. And I was like,
What we wanted to do.
yes. And then I was like in the corner with my child, and the other guy starts coming at me. And I was like, Chris, do something. And he was like, nothing can be done. I've been stabbed.
Oh God. Freeze tag.
Literally. Yes, I was like, freeze tag. And he said it just like that too. He was like, nothing can be done. I've been stabbed. And I was like, that's not how he talks. It was so funny though. Now in hindsight, at the time I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what do you mean you can't do anything? And I had a golf club and I like threw it to him and was like, do something. And then he just was like, couldn't grab it for some reason. He just was refusing to help. And so then I was like scared because I had just thrown away my only weapon that I had. And then this guy is coming at me with like a knife, I think. And I was like, I have a baby. Don't you care about that? And he's like, I don't give a shit that you have a baby. And then it like somehow cut to me hitting him in the head with a stapler,
Okay.
like repeatedly. And I didn't like see what it would really look like to kill someone with a stapler, but it was implied that I killed this man by beating him repeatedly in the head with just a little office stapler, just like
That's a really bad way to go, I have to say.
oh, for sure. And I was holding Keanu the entire time. So I was holding my baby and then killing someone at the same time.
Protecting your baby.
Yes. Yes. I don't remember what happened after that. Probably something, but woke up and then I was like, oh my gosh, now me and Katie are the same. We've both had dreams where we killed someone.
We're both murderers.
Yeah.
Although yours was like self-defense. And like mine was apparently, I don't know what happened. Maybe
You
it was.
you just killed someone for the thrill of it. And then regretted it.
No, I had blacked out.
It's not my fault, officer, I swear.
It's not my fault. I'm criminally insane.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was my really kooky dream I had.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
I love that.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
I love that I'm not the only one. That has
Yeah,
killed
I don't know like where that came from because I don't feel like I was watching like police procedurals or true crime or anything like that. It was just super random.
someone. Well, let's dig into that. Let's see. When was the last time you wanted to hit someone over the head with a stapler?
A lot every day. I don't want to kill them, but I do want to throw a stapler.
Yes, that'd be very satisfying because it wouldn't typically kill someone. It would just like,
Just
You know?
give them a good old conk on the head.
yeah, maybe a little piercing.
Right. Yeah, there's always, the guy who cuts you off in traffic or, the slow person at the grocery store walking in front of you, not getting out of the way. Just, those are the ideal times to throw a stapler.
Couldn't agree more. just assault somebody.
And they'd have no idea why. You're going too slow.
It makes them go real slower.
Yeah, but it'd make me feel better for like a second.
Yeah, you gotta release that somehow.
Right. And so you just bottle it in and be like, okay. And then you just walk around them, but you kind of glare at them a little bit like, do you realize you're not the only person here, right? Or you just cut me off. So what's your problem? Someone cut us off in traffic the other day and then had the audacity to go super slow afterwards.
Oh,
And like,
was it like they were purposefully trying to be an asshole?
no, I think they were just stupid. Like, I think their lane was ending and they didn't realize. So then they quickly cut over, but then they like didn't speed up adequately after cutting us off. And then we came to a red light, and when it turned green, They took so long. And Chris was driving, so he was just patient. And then I said, fucking go, asshole. If I was the driver, I would have been honking my horn this whole time. If you cut me off, I'm like watching you now. I'm going to be critiquing your driving. You better be the best fucking driver in the world if you're going to cut me off.
I agree.
Otherwise, I'm honking my horn. You need to know.
I agree. I drive a lot for work, and I typically drive like clients and in like a work vehicle that's very clearly marked, and you know, we're taught not to like be road ragers, basically. Like, that would look really bad if somebody saw like a person in this vehicle flipping someone off or yelling or honking their horn. Just let things go. Like, you know, do your thing, get late, don't speed, you know, be responsible in a company vehicle. And I broke all the rules last Friday because, gosh, it was rush traffic. Someone was turning left in a lane that said no turning left because of the congestion and traffic. And so people were like very dangerously going around them and me. And so I honked my horn and was like, what? Why would you do that? Client in the back, they could see who I was. Whatever. And then I get further down the road and someone goes around me and through a stop sign and into like 3 lanes of traffic. They're being an asshole. And so I flipped them off. I'm like, oh, client in the back. They could definitely see me. They were looking at me. And I'm just like in this very well-marked car. And I'm like, okay, well, you should know better.
Right, yeah, you have to start justifying the behavior.
Unless you
this
have
wasn't
a
even my
picture.
fault.
It didn't happen, and I'm going to refute it. Mm-hmm. And the people in the back seat, they have my back, so.
Right, exactly. I've done something similar where I flipped off my brother-in-law's ex-wife one time. This was years ago, but
Yes.
we happened to like drive by her in the town we used to live, and there's a lot of tension, especially at that time, like with her, and just like it was messy, everything that was going on. And so I saw her. She has a very easily recognizable car. It's like a very unusual color, so it's like that's definitely her. And then we pulled up next to her and it was her. And so we were like doing a drive-by, and so I like waved at her and then like quickly flipped her off and then like kept waving.
Classy. I love it.
She just, thank you.
I do.
She was so mad. And she is mentally unwell. So she took that as an act of war. And it really blew up in my face. And I regretted doing that because she had her kids in the car. And I didn't realize that at the time. So actually, I just looked like a huge asshole. But it felt really good in the moment. But then immediately after, I was like, I really shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have done that. That was so bad. And I was like, but she's not a good person. And I didn't know the kids were in the car. I immediately had to like start making myself feel better. But I was like, I just shouldn't have done that.
We live and learn, and honestly, amazing. You know, iconic.
Yeah, that was a lesson for me for sure.
I'm sure the children know that their mom is an interesting lady.
I'm sure they'll know when they're adults. I don't even think they saw me, to be honest, because I waited until we were like past, you know. I think she just used that as a reason to be extra upset. My kids were in the car. It's like, okay, well, first of all, I couldn't see them. And also, I don't think they saw me.
Yeah, no, actually, this is a you problem.
Right, I'm innocent.
You are.
Although she did take it too far. She really was insane about it. And then she kept trying to tell a bunch of people that I've done it multiple times now. I'm following her around. Like, none of that is true.
Oh yeah, she's insane. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, which is why I regretted doing it because it's not like a normal interaction. It was, I was like, you just shouldn't get involved with
Cuckoo.
cuckoo.
Cuckoo
Yeah.
bananas. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh. Yeah. No, I think yeah, that's iconic. And she earned it. That's for sure. Um, I think the most awkward interaction I've ever had with that is like being behind someone that was going so slow, and I'd had a shit day, and I was like, oh my god, this person does not know how to drive. They were just not driving very intelligently, and I ended up like just yelling at them from my car very wildly with my hands and like my obviously I was upset. I was like, wow, why are you going so slow? I hate you. And it turns out it was my coworker and I was following them
Oh.
home. I'm like, they probably saw me and we're just never gonna talk about that again. And now
Yeah,
I'm extra careful.
I have made that mistake too. Like whenever I used to pull into my old workplace, the office, there's a lot of slow drivers. And one time I did that too. I was like kind of tailgating someone. I was like, why are we going so slow? And then they pulled into the office and I was like, oh, we both work here. And there's not that many people who have to come into the office. So they're going to recognize my car now.
And they'd be like, that bitch.
Yeah, I was pregnant at the time though, so I'd like to just blame everything on the pregnancy. Just be, I was hormonal.
No, blame it on them. They suck driving.
Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, you suck. If they ever, no one would ever confront me, but if they did, I'd be like, yeah,
No.
justified.
They're not brave enough to confront.
No. But I am brave enough to stand up for myself.
That's right. That is so right.
I like how we started talking about dreams and now we're just talking about how we're better than everyone and justify all of our bad behavior.
We've never done a wrong thing in our entire lives, and everyone else is wrong. And I think that's exactly what friendships are for. Is to create an echo chamber, and have no responsibility.
You heard it here first, people. You gotta create the echo chamber.
That you want to have in life,
Right. You're hearing feedback that you don't want to hear.
Don't be friends with them.
Don't be friends with that person. Like someone holding you accountable and trying to make you a better person? No, we don't need that.
No, I'm not here for that. I'm here for women supporting women through really bad decisions. That's what feminism is to me.
Me too.
We always hold ourselves to higher standards than men hold themselves to. So it's about time that we suck a little bit and don't give a shit.
Right.
know?
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say like there's too many Andrew Tates in the world, but there's just one Andrew Tate. But there's a lot of them. A lot of people who like to be like that.
Yeah.
And look at them. Look at the stuff they're doing, and they think they're amazing.
And they make
and they
money.
don't listen to feedback. Yeah.
Like,
why can't we stoop down to that level?
Yeah. Well, maybe not the human trafficking and like all the other crimes.
No.
I'd like the suckiness, maybe. Yeah.
No, I mean like, don't hold me accountable for anything.
Yes. Just admire me.
That level, right? Yeah.
That's what I seek in friendships and relationships, is someone that will not hold me accountable for anything.
Absolutely not. No.
I love
Yeah,
that.
obviously, none of that is true. We were talking about therapy earlier, so I think we all know that's not true. But
yeah, I don't think Andrew Tate believes in therapy.
that makes sense for him. I would believe that for sure.
That makes sense for him. I love that as an insult.
That adds up.
That tracks.
It does track.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we should wrap this one up, eh?
I don't know. I'm having a great time. Let's see what else I can Cover up.
Let's just keep going off the rails.
Yeah, no, I think we're good for today. All right, well, I guess I'll talk to you later.
We'll chat at you next time, chittering. We'll chitter at you later.
Yes. On the next episode of the Babble podcast, please stick around to hear more.
Yes, subscribe, and we'll see when we post next. We don't know. On our first episode, I was like, we're gonna post every week. I'm never saying anything like that again. We'll be back whenever we're back.
Yes, we'll try our darndest.
Yeah, we're trying. We're definitely trying, but I don't want to have anything on like a permanent record.
That's smart. Smart.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll try to put something out later.
We'll see. Yep. Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.